It's the Slated podcast, they don't have any friends. They pair a film with another film. I don't watch cartoons because they're for children. And they are both It's the Slated podcast.
Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 24 of the Slated Double Features
Oh,
podcast
wow, I can't hear you.
with your hosts.
Oh,
my
that's not
headphones came
good. My headphones came out. They're back in now.
Are you ready? I'm not doing it again. I've done it once. I'm not doing it again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, you know what we are. We're here. It's me, and it's the Grand Slam winning Matty Vivian. Hello, Matt.
That's me. Oh God, I'm out of breath. I've just been playing so much tennis. That's who I am now.
Back and forth.
I don't watch film anymore. Not interested. I just play tennis. I'm out on the court morning, noon, night. I'm probably the best in the world.
Yeah, this week it's a very sporty double feature. Matt and I are both known for being very sporty.
Yeah.
Famously, we watched both of these films and fast-forwarded the non-sport parts. So we
boring.
won't be looking at any character or plot. We'll just be looking at how accurate
These films
it
are
is.
just filled with like romance stuff. I don't care.
Boring.
Show me the
Hit
tennis.
that ball. Show me the tennis.
Right. Well, we'll get on to that.
I think now's a good time to go to weekly roundup. Yee Haw.
Yee Haw.
Yee Haw. What have you seen?
My first thing I watched was Ali G in the House. Have you seen Ali G in the
I
House?
also saw Ali G in the House. I watched it
What?
with you in person.
What are the chances? What did you think?
What are the chances?
I mean, I've seen it twice before.
I've seen it once, and that was with you in person.
Yeah.
It's nice to be able to know where the references are from now. Being from England, around this time, growing up in the noughties, you hear so many of these lines, but they're so deeply ingrained in you as a being, as a little English boy,
Yeah.
that you don't know where it actually comes from. But after watching Ali G, I now understand, so I feel more cultured because of it.
I remember there was always like, we used to be shown the Ali G show in RS whenever there was like a topic like animal rights. We'd watch Ali G talk about it. Like religion, we'd watch like Ali G, and just like the teachers would. Because they would, I guess, grow up with it, but the younger teachers would grow up with it more. They'd always make like references, and we'd be like, "What? Why are you saying boyakasha and stuff?"
Yeah, it was good. It's not a 5-star Borat. Don't get me wrong. Borat
It's not
is
like
a perfect film.
I mean, I think in general, what's his name? Sacha Baron Cohen's stuff is better when it's, a couple of fictional characters and everyone else is a real person. And
Yeah,
so his
completely.
fully scripted stuff isn't as good. But I think this is a hell of a lot better than like The Dictator and Grimsby.
I would agree. What's that stuff about Rebel Wilson's autobiography?
Yeah,
where
she played his wife in Grimsby, and I think she tried to get something published in it, but his lawyers were like stopping her because I think she mentioned it beforehand, and they were like, "You can't publish it." It basically like he was just. It's what I heard from an armourer I was talking to who worked, I think, on Grimsby on something, and saying about how he really likes Sacha Baron Cohen, but he doesn't ever switch off. Like he's always like, and I think Mark Strong got quite annoyed with him because he would just always be like. Sort of pranking and being ridiculous, and I think it was quite a lot for Rebel Wilson to handle, and I think he like when they were doing like intimate scenes, he was a bit like, let's just really go for it and really do this, and she was like, actually I'd rather not. I think that's what it is.
Interesting.
And his lawyers are trying to get all the bad mouthing stuff gone.
I think he's very funny, and I'm very proud that
I love the
I've
stuff he
actually
does.
worked with two of his crew in Ali G in the House.
Wow.
Is he the West Side crew?
The West Side Massive.
The West Side Massive. And I shan't be saying who they are. It's up to the viewers to comment below and find out, and I'll say yes or no.
It's not Sacha Baron Cohen, and it's not the one who's not famous.
But it might be. That's the thing.
Okay.
It might be the one who's not famous. I may have worked with him. Let's
Okay.
not ruin it for the listeners, please.
Okay.
I gave that 3.5.
I gave it 4.5 because I love it. I watched it for the first
Ooh.
time when I was like 14 or something, or like 13, and I thought like, this is so immature, this is not funny, this is just stupid. And then I watched it again like 10 years later, and I was like, this is hilarious, and I was dying laughing.
What else have you seen?
I've seen Call Me By Your Name. Have you seen it?
It is my friend Amy. It's one of their favourite films, and I've always been like I haven't had any interest in it. I was always intrigued by the fact that their CGI budget went on removing Armie Hammer's bulge from the film. I thought that was quite funny.
Yeah.
And I know Armie Hammer is a famous cannibal.
Yeah.
And that it's a love story, but like the age difference is not good.
So Timothy
So I
Chalamet's
haven't seen it. I've
character-
never had any desire to see it. Other than those bits.
I didn't really. I kind of thought I've heard it's good, and we're going to be watching a Luca Guadagnino film, so I'll watch it. It's all right. Timothy Chalamet is a 17-year-old. Armie Hammer plays a 24-year-old. It's sort of it's weird.
Prince Andrew would say that's fine.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's legal in Italy, but I think it's about 14 they can do that. But it's just I don't know. It's sort of I don't think they've got any sort of chemistry. The two characters I don't see being together. There's such a power dynamic that I don't really root for it as a couple, which is fine. Like it's a drama more than it is like a romance film, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be a great couple. But yeah, I don't know. I thought the ending was very good. There's a really great scene with his dad at the end. Timothy Chalamet talking to his dad, or his dad talking to him. And there's some stuff that's really, really good. I think a lot of it is... I think lots of people consider it quite romantic, and I think it was just quite creepy and uncomfortable for the most part.
Does it not get confusing? I know at the start it must be really hard. Does it get any easier?
Well, because they're calling each other by their own names.
Yeah, but having the two leads have the same name... Like, I don't know if I could follow that through.
Well, it is confusing how Timothy Chalamet calls Armie Hammer Timothy Chalamet, and Armie Hammer calls Timothy Chalamet Armie Hammer.
Yeah.
That did get in my head a
Oh,
little
so they
bit.
don't even have character names. They're just actor names.
No, but it's called by my name. I actually don't get that at all.
Oh, they called each other by your name. So they went by Matt and Vivian.
Yeah, it's fine. 3 stars. There's some really good bits and some bits where I was nodding off. Have you watched anything else?
Well, I've just finished on this job, and I'm so thankful that it's done, which means I can now start watching films. And the first thing I'm going to watch, probably this evening, is either going to be Love Lies Bleeding, or it's going to be Late Night with the Devil. So
yeah, you should watch that.
Next week, I shall start having things to talk about.
Good, yeah, I need to watch Monkey Band so I can do a review on it. Okay, well, I've seen a few more things. I watched Baby Reindeer, new miniseries on Netflix. How do I describe it? I'd recommend watching it all in one go, if you can. It's so basically what it's about is about it's a true story. The writer and director is the main actor, and it happened to him in real life. He was stalked by a woman, an older woman, who was like sort of in love with him, as it were. And she followed him everywhere. And she sent him constant emails, like hundreds a day, and she like harassed him. And he also had a past trauma, which is kind of why he doesn't necessarily react to it in a way that you would consider like normal. Like he's a lot more accommodating to her than most people just call the police immediately. But I think what's so interesting about as a stalker, like she is the villain of the story, but she's like, it's more she's just like mentally ill, and so both him and her are such interesting, such like 3D characters, and you're so invested in them. And I think I can't remember the name of the lady who plays her, but she is so brilliant that when you're not seeing her, when you're just seeing like that, because those are like her emails come on screen constantly, and when you just read them, you're like, oh god, fuck Martha, what a horrible, leave him alone. And then you see her face, and you're just like, oh bless. And it's really interesting the way that you sort of relate to both of them, and you also at other times get frustrated with both of them.
How interesting. Okay,
it's really fantastic. And I mean, I don't know to quite what extent it's true. I mean, he says it's like emotionally true, but I think it's also like exaggerated to a certain extent. Like he said, when we see right at the very start, although it's set later on, him getting the police involved. Like I think in real life he didn't, or not to the same extent, because he felt so sorry for her. But it's brilliant. It's really, really brilliant. I think the only thing that slightly took me out in the first couple of episodes was his like acting. But I think I got you more used to it, and I think the fact that it was him and it's true made it more powerful. But it's brilliant, honestly. Big recommend.
Well, I've got that and Shogun.
Yeah, I've heard that's brilliant. And Free Body Problem. I've heard there's a bunch of new series that come out that are all brilliant.
Still haven't seen Fallout, so I'm going to crack on with those TV shows. Yeah, I've seen the first one. What else have you seen?
I have watched every Pixar short. I watched them all in the morning.
Oh my god!
All of the ones that like played before, all of the ones that were like pre-feature film and that played before the movies. Not the ones that
you
are
mean like Mater goes to see an alien.
No,
that's my favourite one.
I didn't watch like the Cars ones, the Toy Story ones. I watched like all of the originals.
Yes. Okay. So like the volcano one,
the
umbrella one,
yeah, the umbrella one,
paper airplane one.
Most of them are very good. So I'll go through them in order. I'll give like a one-sentence review on all of them.
Okay,
a computer-animated hand. Very interesting. 1972. They made a CGI hand and a CGI face. Like, well done. It looks shit, but like for the time, great. Knick Knack. Is that the next one? Maybe. No, it's not. The Adventures of Andre and Wally B. It's like a minute long, but it's like pretty good for 1984. Luxo Jr. Again, good for the time. Knick Knack. Which one's Knick Knack? No, that one's good. That's the Snow Globe one. Yeah, that's fun. The reason I watched it was because I watched a YouTube video on the comparison between the original released one and the one released before Finding Nemo, I think, and basically they just took the massive boobs off the love interest. That's the only difference. Right. Red's Dream. Oh, I really liked that one. I thought the CGI was like, for 87, I thought the CGI was incredible on that one. Tin Toy. That's creepy. The baby is horrifying. And I wanted to kick it. I heard a theory that's Sid as a baby from Toy Story, and I quite like that theory. Jerry's Game. Oh, that's such a sweet short. You know, like the old man playing chess in the park with himself.
The chess one. Yeah, I remember that.
It's the cleaner from Toy Story 2. The guy like does up Woody.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, really nice that one.
They reused his model.
For the Birds is.
I remember that one.
Pretty good. I remember that one. Yeah.
Birds on the Wire.
Quite funny. Boundin'. That one's very forgettable. I think it's like a song as well. It's fine. It's like some animals, and it's not very good. One Man Band. Oh, that was quite charming. It's all right. Lifted. I remember this one. This was the early character model of Linguini from Ratatouille being abducted by aliens. It's like an alien doing like his driving test, but like his abduction test, and he just keeps smashing Linguini against his house and around his bedroom. He can't get him out the window. It's quite funny. But he just never wakes up. Presto, that's quite fun. That's like a rabbit in a magic trick. Partly Cloudy, that's all right. That's like about storks delivering babies. That's quite fun. Oh, Day and Night's rubbish. Yep. I don't like that one. I remember that one from the cinema though, but I didn't like it. La Luna, that one was rubbish too. That was like sort of very... It was the same director who then went on to do Luca, and it's very much the same visual style. Like Italian, but also the same look of the character. There's like a guy with a big moustache and no eyes and a big eyebrow. Okay. The Blue Umbrella, that one looks stunning. It's fine as a story. It's okay. I don't know why. At the end, they have a date. It's just two people. I don't know why you do that outside in the rain, but whatever. Lava, I thought that was beautiful. I loved it, and I watched it twice. I thought it was great. Sanjay's Super Team. This one has really good reviews. I thought it was shit. Piper, boring, but looks very cute bird. Bow, that was good. Had some nice meaning to it. It was good, and that's it. That's the last one. So yeah, mostly some nice shorts there. I've got one more film. I watched Lost in Translation.
We were going to watch that together.
Yeah, and then we watched Ali G in the House.
We watched Ali G in the House.
I think we made the right call. I think Lost in Translation it's just like a film where not much happens. It's just about loneliness, and it's just a slice of life thing. And not one to watch with the boys.
Not with the boys. Okay. It sounds like it's right up my street. Sounds like
it is good. I liked it a lot.
In.
Bit creepy how I assume that Scarlett Johansson's character is a bit older because she's married and stuff. But when they filmed it, Bill Murray was in his 50s and she was 17. So a bit weird for like a romantic thing. I mean, they're not like really a couple. It's like kind of them cheating. It's like an affair, but like. I think they kiss, but
you never find out, do you? You never find out.
No,
because you can't understand what's going on the entire time.
Oh yeah, it is a little bit racist. It is. They very much like the whole film is like repeatedly like, God, aren't Japanese people weird and annoying and hard to understand? It was good.
Casual racism in cinema, love it.
Well,
okay, well,
most
that's
films
very much top of my list.
Like that, yeah, it's good. Watch it, and that's it. That's all I've watched.
Woo! So this week we saw
Challengers. Matt, what was the plot?
Okay, well, you know how me and you want to smooch Zendaya?
I thought you were going to say me and you want to smooch each other, but carry on.
Well, okay. Well, she doesn't have to be there. But anyway, that's the movie. two bros trying to pull Zendaya, and they both do, and then one of them does, and then the other one doesn't, and then the other one does, and then the other one doesn't, and they just sort of flip-flop around, smooching Zendaya, and they all play tennis.
What an interesting film. Largely positive reviews. There's one guy I follow on Letterboxd who's seen it at least twice already. So directed by how do you say his last name? Luca.
I think it's Guadagnino, but I might not be right.
Luca Guadagnino, that sounds about right. Director of, as you said, Call Me by Your Name. Was it last year? Year before? Bones and All. Suspiria remake.
Yeah, I haven't seen the Suspiria remake. I really like the original. But from what I heard, it's because I've always felt like a remake. Don't bother remaking a good film. Remake a film that was a great idea, but it didn't really work out.
Yeah.
But Suspiria, the original, was really good. And what I hear is he did it so differently. It was such a different interpretation that it really justified its existence.
Yes, I've heard that as well.
So I would like to see it.
A great director. He's definitely one, although I can't pronounce his last name confidently. When I see his name on a poster, because I can read the written word and not necessarily speak it, I'm excited. And I think Challengers has proved that. I think it's a very well-made film.
I've got a great segue here. Speaking of posters where you can read the written word but not say it, have you seen that poster for Challengers they released and then they immediately redacted and put out a statement about?
No, let me have a look.
Oh,
yeah. There's no way that's real. There is no
it's not real.
way.
Oh, that's a shame. Well, no, it's not a shame.
That's a shame.
I saw that. I saw this everywhere.
There is no way that's real. So there's a fake poster. It's white. Up the top are the three actors' names. Below that are the silhouetted figures of three people playing tennis. And then below them in bold text is the word Challengers, except it's split over two lines. CHALLE is on the top line, and then the rest is on the bottom line, and it looks like something very racist. So you know what? There's no way that's real.
Okay. Well, I fell for it, and I don't normally fall for things, but I saw it around so many places that I was like, well, this has got to be real.
And it got your bum in the seat as well, so it worked, clearly, didn't it? That's good marketing, if ever I've heard it.
Have you seen that they reckon that 55% of viewers of this film went to see it just because Zendaya's in it? So,
oh my God.
So what people like Quentin Tarantino is saying about how the movie star is dead, people don't watch a movie for Chris Evans, they watch it for Captain America, like, I guess it's actually kind of not true. And I actually think it's more the case with like female actors now than male actors. Like, people will go see the new Zendaya film. They'll go and watch Anya Taylor-Joy's film. They'll like...
Yeah.
I don't know if she's maybe on a way, but like Jenna Ortega, people go and watch anything she does.
So Zendaya plays Tashi Donaldson, Mike Feist plays Art Donaldson, and Josh O'Connor plays Patrick Zweig. I've never seen Mike Feist or Josh O'Connor in anything. I think they were very good.
I saw Joshua O'Connor in a terrible Doctor Who episode once, but he was a very small role.
Lucky for him. They both look like normal people.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't look like two identical Chris Evans. They looked similar, but different enough. One being the more meek, by the book character, and one being the bad boy. A bit more...
Yeah, I'd say one of them's more like sort of traditionally suave and put together, and the other one is a bit more like rugged, still knows how to fuck.
The characters in this, there's not a traditional hero villain in this.
No.
And maybe some of the moral choices are not something that as an audience you would do, but they are three really interesting, well-developed characters.
Yeah, it's not just about it's an actual like love triangle. I feel like normal love triangles are like a V shape or like an upside down V. You know, it's them both looking at this one girl. There's still very much a thing between the two men, like somewhat romantic undertones, but also like the friendship and relationship between the two of them is so important. I mean, we know that they've had like a sort of slightly sexual past, and they're like kissing at the start, and one of them we see on Tinder, and he's got like men on there. but it's mostly not that. But I quite liked how it was like an actual triangle this time.
Yeah, it really... The trailer sells it as being like a real raunch fest, but it's not that.
Not really, no. There's a few scenes, but...
As you said, like, the dynamics, it's so well written that it keeps you guessing the entire time. Like, you don't know who's going to end up where. It ebbs and flows between them.
Oh, it's good. Yeah, I think it is really good how... yes, one scene will be following one character as the hero and the others the villains, and then the next scene, like, who the hero and who the villain is, like, switches from scene to scene. Like, we like and we dislike all three of them in different scenes from different points of view. It's almost like we have a point of view character in every scene, and they're the one we root for. Like, it's normally Tashi is quite positive, and then at the end I'm like, I don't like you at all. Yes,
I came away feeling that exactly the same. She was pulling their strings the entire time.
But I also feel like if I think they should have just not been involved with her, and just they should have both. I think they're just all bad for each other, and they should have all found other people. But they're just obsessed with her because she's like their muse, but their tennis muse. Like, is there such a thing in sport? Probably. I mean, yeah, because
there must be.
Because of Kirsten Dunst is Paul Bettany's tennis muse.
A motivation, more than a muse, I guess. Do you know this is a first feature screenplay?
Yes, I do know this. By Greta Lee's boyfriend, right?
It's by a guy called Justin. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing the last name. Justin Koritsky.
Yeah.
Who anyone who grew up on the internet would probably know him as the potion seller.
He's the potion seller. Yes. No.
How amazing!
Celine Song. I'm thinking Greta Lee was the star of Past Lives. No. Yes, he is the potion seller. That's correct. But he is also Celine Song, the writer and director of Past Lives. They're dating, and so I've seen people on the internet saying,
"Oh wow."
Are both these films inspired by like the same threesome, and they both interpret it differently?
Okay, so that's like a very famous threesome then. What a great first attempt! Like, well done.
Oh,
well
the screenplay is fantastic. Yeah, and he's also writing Luca Guadagnino's next film, which I think is out later this year, which is called Queer. It's about Daniel Craig. It's a true story. I can't remember what it's about. It's Daniel Craig as like an expat or something. I don't know. American fella.
yeah.
I read
sounds
the
good to me.
Forgot it immediately.
I'll watch that one, I think. What I really liked about the presentation of how it was shot, it almost changes from scene to scene. Sometimes it's like really dynamic and really fluid. Sometimes it's just static and taking everything in.
That's true.
You've got very gimmicky shots in there. It messes around with frame rate. It messes around with light. Compared to because we've paired this with Wimbledon, which is 2002, it's like night and day. How Guadagnino like really stretches the idea and the presentation, and tennis isn't just a set-in. Tennis is the story as well as the relationship is the story. It's not just there's a love triangle and they're playing tennis. Like it's everything. Even the jumping back and forth in time, which at the start I was like, why are they doing it like this? Very non-linear fashion.
At first I was like, I think this was a bad mistake because it's just kind of spoiled stuff. Like, we know that they're married and we know who she chose. And then but I think when you go back to that, the match the furthest in the future, which we always keep going back to, you do learn more and more. Every time they cut back there, you learn more information and there's more depth.
Yes.
And then you find out why Zendaya is reacting like that, and you find out why one of them's playing so badly, and you find out what I think, and you find out something about a tell that you didn't know the context of before.
Even that's like a tennis match, like jumping back and forth in time with information. Everyone's like, at one point one fella has got the upper hand and then the other one's got the upper hand. Even
that's a very good point.
Even like non-verbally conveying information, like how can you tell? We have the furthest point in the future is the tennis match, but you also spend time the night before the tennis match. How do you tell? How does it convey that it's that night? Because we jump back and forth to that night every time, and it's because there's a big storm.
Yeah.
So whenever you see a big storm with loads of CG papers flying around,
I hope the CG artists have made an absolute mess of the
you immediately tell. You're like, why is there so much paper in this town? Where is it coming from? Who still reads newspapers in 2024? But
I know,
things
it should
like
be
that,
like
that's
Mackey's
just
wrappers and stuff. And
yeah,
old vapes.
vape cartridges flying around. But it's just so well executed. I was just really impressed. I went into it thinking this is going to be so dull, and it was so good.
I thought the same. I was completely invested throughout the whole thing, and I didn't think I would be.
So tense.
Yeah, I think you're right. What you're saying, like most of it's conventionally shot, and then you'll have like the red light is such a big thing in that scene near the end in the car park. And you have that like tennis ball point of view near the end as well, which I really liked.
So that this is onto the issues I have with it.
Yeah, I knew as soon as I saw that shot, I was like, "This is sick. Joshua will hate this."
I hated that. The end, like the last sequence of them playing tennis. Did you see? You must have. You know the SNL bit. The what you say?
I know that from I know that like as a meme. I don't know it from SNL.
So it's.
I've seen it as like
Bill Hader.
Like TikToks.
Bill Hader's writing a letter to his sister, and it's like, "Dear sister, when you're reading this," and then Andy Samberg comes in and shoots him. And then it goes into slow motion, like he's then looking at the blood in his hands.
Yeah.
And then he collapses, and the song like fades out, and Andy Samberg's like, "Oh my god, what happened?" And then Bill Hader shoots him, and then it goes into the slow motion, and the same song, and then he falls to the ground.
Oh, I didn't know that was an SNL sketch because I've
Sam
seen that.
Witwicky walks in and gets shot, and then Kristen Wiig walks in and gets shot over and over and over again. And I was like, the editing here, it's too much for me. It feels like a joke. That gimmicky tennis ball shot, I was
didn't
like,
get that
strip
at all.
it back. It's tense.
I completely
Just
disagree.
Do it less.
No, I disagree. I think style's good, and I didn't take me out at all. I actually didn't think it was at all what you're saying, apart from that one tennis ball shot. And I thought that tennis ball shot was so interesting. I've never seen a shot like that before. They do a similar one in Wimbledon, but it's like third person. It's not quite as good. I loved it, and I thought it was so tense. I thought everything they did just smashed it.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong, really tense. But like, you'd see a slow motion reaction shot of Zendaya, and then it will go into live action, and then it'll go to normal speed, and then back to a slow motion shot of her, and then a slow motion shot of him.
But tennis is so fast that you can't capture everything without doing that. I think it was the right. It's not like Zack Snyder's use of slow motion, watching like grain in slow motion for 30 fucking minutes. It's like
cutting down wheat.
Yeah, this is like a really fast-paced thing that we need to take the time with seeing. We need to tell the story. So I understand why you'd use a variety of speeds. And then when it does, it means also when it's slow, when it goes back to being fast, it's sort of jarring. It's like, whoa, this is such a quick game. It feels even faster. I thought it was very, very well done.
Yeah, okay, I do see where you're coming from. But yeah, that's the only issue I had. And talking about tennis... Because we paired this with Wimbledon. We watched Wimbledon as well from 2002, I think. It's nice to see actual tennis just being played.
Okay.
Unlike Wimbledon, where it will be like a montage. A racket hits a ball bounces.
Then a wide shot
racket
when it
hits a ball.
A body double.
And then it'll be a point was scored. Yay! But in this, it lets longer sequences of tennis play out at different points in the film. You get the impression that they're actually playing tennis and they're not just actors playing tennis. And I really appreciated that.
I do agree with that, I think, because I think Wimbledon is very much like... It's such a generic film structure that's like, oh, I know that he'll miss this one and then he'll get the final one. Like, it's, I mean, it's strange to say about them playing tennis because it was a CGI ball and... They just swung into thin air. Yeah, they weren't playing tennis at all.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean they might have done for some shots, but no, I heard Zendaya on one of the Jimmies talking about how she's not that great at tennis. She could just fake a form looking okay, but and then they just had the ball afterwards. I know. I kind of get what you're talking about. Because like you said, the Wimbledon is just actors and it's so formulaic. And I genuinely had no idea who's going to win and who. I actually didn't get the ending. Can we talk about that now? Like I'm talking the last 30 seconds. Yeah, I didn't get it.
Spoilers for challengers. I really like the ending.
I didn't understand it. Like why they just hugged and then Zendaya cheered. But it's like, wait, but who won the game? Because the ball must have fallen on one side. I mean, I can't remember which side. So someone must have won it. But why are they hugging?
I thought Art won.
I think he probably did.
But it's because it's boys being boys. That's what they learn.
Yeah,
That
but
it
they
wasn't
learned
about
like
her.
they're friends all along.
Yeah, that she was there because she won the tennis because Art won. So she did that like guttural "come on again," which he mentions at the start of the film. Because there's like so many throwbacks, like so many callbacks to certain bits. Like you said, the tail with the tennis ball. Oh man.
Yeah, they have that T-shirt that she wears and he wears. And...
Yeah, but yeah, then they hug, and they're like, "Wow, it's more than that. It's not about her. It's about boys being boys. It's about the bros. It's about being masculine and kissing your bros. Not about Zendaya."
Fucked his wife. Like, he would hate him.
But then that also goes back to, it's so clever. Why does Zendaya like tennis in the first place? Like the conversation on the beach, because it's a relationship.
Yeah,
it's that point where he gives away the point, doesn't he, Art? And then they have that final sequence is that final point, and it's them having their relationship.
Yeah.
They are purely in tennis, and then they learn that it's just boys being boys. That's just the relationship.
Boys. Okay, fair enough. All right,
I thought it was very clever.
That's fair enough.
Yeah, what did you rate it?
I gave it 4 stars. It probably could have 4.5. I thought it was really good. I love the drama. I love the characters. Well, I hated the characters at times, but I was very, very invested in the whole thing. I thought it was interesting. I couldn't compare it to much else. I thought it was, unpredictable. Really liked it. Really had a good time.
Yeah, so did I. I gave it 4.5. Other than that gimmicky end, I really enjoyed it and would like to watch it again.
Yeah, I'd happily watch it again. And it was also quite hot.
It was quite steamy. A little bit of peen here and there, a little bit of nip.
There wasn't really peen. Not much.
There was in the peen in the shower room. Bit of peen.
But I didn't think you saw it. Oh yeah, there was that one fella in the distance. Yeah. And you could see Zendaya's nips through her shirt. Okay, so this week Challengers is out, but Challengers didn't invent tennis. It wasn't invented by them. Plenty of films have been about tennis in the past, and we're going to talk about a badder one. So, what is the plot of Wimbledon?
So, Wimbledon is the film that invented tennis.
What?
It came out in 2004. Yeah, that's an IMDb trivia for you.
Oh, that's
directed by Richard Loncraine. If you've seen any rom-com from the 2000s, such as Notting Hill, then you've seen Wimbledon, but at tennis. That's the difference.
It's a 2000s British rom-com. And that's it. There's nothing more to it. What did you think of it?
I thought Paul Bettany was doing his best Hugh Grant impression.
I don't know if Hugh Grant would have been able to do this film. He's too charming, whereas Paul Bettany is he's sort of playing it just as a man. Like Hugh Grant does like a smarmy, like, you know, he's trying to look hot. He's trying to be charming. He's trying to be like the awkward bumbly, like, oh, I'm a mess, but I'm actually trying to look as hot as possible. Whereas Paul Bettany just kind of plays it pretty straight. He doesn't play it as like a romantic lead, really.
Yeah, okay, I get you.
So I think that's kind of why I liked him in the part and why I thought Kirsten Dunst was terrible, or at least her character.
Paul Bettany's Peter Colt and Kirsten Dunst's Lizzie Bradbury. Kirsten Dunst is still just as wooden as any other thing she's in.
This was like the same year as Spider-Man 2, was it? And she plays just MJ. Like, she's such a just like almost manic pixie dream girl. Like, she's just perfect girlfriend. Like, she's so like, I'm just beautiful. I'm just about being pretty and being in love with you. And she has no personality, and she just instantly falls in love with the protagonist. Instantly wants to bang him, and it's not interesting at all. And also, we don't focus on her very much. Like, the end, she's also in Wimbledon, and we only focus on Paul Bettany, and then at the end it's like, oh yeah, now she won. We don't see her at all. She's just not interesting. And yeah, Kirsten Dunst,
she's not interesting, doesn't have a character,
doesn't do anything with
her
it.
Function is there to provide motivation for Paul Bettany. This very squarely fails the Bechdel test.
Very much so.
Very much. There's just nothing, there's no character there.
There's no
Sam
reason
Neill,
for us to feel like, why are they a couple? Like, I don't root for them as a couple. Like, yeah, she's 10 years younger than him and like hotter, so I guess it's like, oh, fair play, mate. But I actually don't think she's that hot. But yeah, no, she's got no personality. They don't have stuff in common apart from tennis, and I don't. ever buy this longevity. I actually thought at the start, like, oh, is this going to be just like a fling and then are we done? Because I can't see them getting married. It was very
Not
bizarre.
that relationships need to get married, but in terms of
But in
conventional...
movies, it's like a happily ever after. I don't see it.
Yeah, it's just so middle of the road, this film. Like, even down on his luck, tennis star, having his final hurrah in Wimbledon, and then by chance, not necessarily by skill, but by chance and motivation through his penis, he gets to the final and then is given a piece of information that gives him even more motivation.
Yeah,
he goes Super Saiyan 2.
She gives him the cheat
in the
codes.
end. She does. She's like, look at, what is it? She tells him the smarmy American rival the tells for his super fast serve.
Yeah.
Which he doesn't use.
No, he forgets them. But he used them the first couple of times. And then the last one, he's like, oh, bollocks to it. Let's just play cricket. No, tennis. What's it called?
Yeah, and then he lost because he forgot what game he was playing. He was like, that wasn't a bowl. I thought this film, I suggested this film because I thought it was the one with Russell Crowe where Paul Bettany plays
Paul Bettany's in
a
two
hallucination.
tennis movies. What?
No, I thought this was it. There's a really good film that I haven't seen but have been recommended about Russell Crowe having a hallucination, and it's Paul Bettany. Like, Paul Bettany just turns up and tells him to kill himself, I think. And I was like, oh, is that Wimbledon? It's very much not Wimbledon. No. It was so boring.
I knew this was a Paul Bettany rom-com, and that's why I didn't want to watch it. That's why I said, can I watch 7 Days in Heaven's 10? And you went, no, watch Wimbledon.
But Jamie Lannister's in this. This is before he got his arm cut off by...
He is playing a German with a thick Danish accent.
Yeah, it's really interesting watching this after watching Challengers, because it is a by-the-book, formulaic rom-com that is set in Wimbledon and in the world of tennis.
Which is a world I want.
Whereas Challengers is... Yeah, but Challengers is so much more than this.
At the end of it, it's like sort of the most important thing in Wimbledon is him winning the tennis, whereas in Challengers the most important thing is their relationships and their lives being good. It's sort of like, I remember, I think it was Jonah Hill saying how in a screenplay you need to have what we think the goal is different to what it actually is. And we need to be subverted at the end. Like, he gave the example of Superbad, is we think the whole time the point of it is the goal is to sleep with girls, lose your virginity, and
sleep
then
with Emma Stone.
But then it's actually the point of it is the two of their friendship falling apart and them remaining friends. And so it's sort of like Challengers very successfully made it to be about this final match, but actually in the end the winner doesn't really matter, and it's about their relationships. And I think Wimbledon kind of never really successfully did that, because it just very much tacked on the ending of they did get together, and
it just feels tensionless as well. Even what should have been a really big like midpoint moment of tension, or like end of second act whatever tension, is when he's drawn up against his best friend in the tennis, Jamie Lannister. Yeah, and he has the pep talk with Kirsten Dunst, and she's like, "Oh, it's gonna really kill him. This is the hardest thing. Is going up against your friend in tennis." Yeah, and you don't see the match, and Paul Bettany wins, and then Jamie Lannister's like, "Oh well, it's just one of those things."
Yeah, and then he's still friends with him for the rest of the movie, and there's no difference.
No tension. Yeah, if he was a character, get rid of James McAvoy. Why have we got quirky betting brother?
Yeah, he's just there for comic relief, I guess.
If you had Jamie Lannister there and he then had his own things going on, how much more interesting would that have been? But it wouldn't have been an easy sell rom-com Valentine's Day 2004.
No, but if it's Jamie Lannister, he was going to make that his last Wimbledon ever. If he'd said, like, this is my last one, and that would make Paul Bettany feel really bad that he's going to knock him out in his final one ever. I get that as conflict.
Yeah. Even having some form of like development, that Paul Bettany does it to get with Kirsten Dunst, like knocks him out and embarrasses him or something like that. Yeah. or vice versa. It makes sense that Paul Bettany gets destroyed
Well, I
or
kind of
something.
thought that might happen. He gets injured, or he just loses, and he thinks like, oh, I'm never going to get Kirsten Dunst. And she's like, I don't care how good you are at tennis. I just like you as a guy. Like, I didn't want to sleep with you because you were once 11th in the world. I genuinely like you. But it doesn't go that direction in the slightest.
It doesn't. He gets everything. He doesn't learn anything. He gets everything.
Yeah. It all seems really easy. He goes from like being like a bit shit, he's like 100 and something in the world, to winning, and it's like it doesn't feel like there's ever a justification as to how, other than he's in a good headspace because he's got a girlfriend.
Yeah, exactly right. What a cringe moment, you know, when he's in the tunnel with the American before their final, and the American goes like, how's your weak back? And Paul Bettany goes, how's the weak mind? What a shit lie. That's so bad.
I've never seen that actor play anyone but an arsehole, because he was Spencer in The Walking Dead, and he was a right knobhead.
I thought it was interesting. I thought it was a very bold move not to have any Brandon, because obviously this is a secret origin, isn't it? Obviously you've got Happy Hogan in it, and the post credits of him being kidnapped by Ultron.
Yeah,
but there's never really, it doesn't explain why you have MJ from another universe in here.
Yeah, we got Vision. No,
you've got Professor X as well from another universe. Really weird. What do you think about the Spider-Man female lead tennis curse?
It's a strange one. What was Emma Stone? I did see like an Instagram like all Spider-Men go to war and all MJs play tennis in other movies. I don't know what the Emma Stone one is. What's that?
Battle of the Sexes.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Interesting.
What
did you rate Wimbledon? Oh,
what?
That was a bit awkward.
Yeah,
we said that at the same time.
Yeah.
Maybe we should kiss like the leads and challengers.
I think that's a good idea. I don't know. I haven't given it a rating yet. Probably like 2.5, because I thought it was fine. Maybe 2.
Yeah, I gave it 2.5. Yeah, it's just pretty nothing. I don't think I'll ever watch it again.
It wasn't offensive or anything. It was like
it wasn't offensive.
It was all right. It was a bit of escapism, being like the romance in it is like not grounded in any reality. Like their meet cute is that he's accidentally given the hotel room key to her room, and he walks in on her in the shower naked, and unlike any other human who would be like,
no reaction.
What the fuck? Get out of my fucking room! Like. She just doesn't cover herself at all. He just sees her fully naked, and she loves it, and he loves it, and it's just like, oh, this is a fantasy, this is a dream, this would never happen in real life. And so it's a bit of escapism of like a dream romance. It's fine, but there's nothing to it. There's no depth. There's nothing to say.
No depth, no tension. It's everything you've seen before.
Yeah.
I also gave it 2.5. It's arguably worse than if it was bad, and arguably worse if it was good.
Yeah.
Cuz double features.
Good. That was good. That's better than
you
mine.
did reply, because I forgot what the reply was.
No, because you shot me down for last time. You shot me down last time I did it, and I was really embarrassed.
Please don't suck me dry or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, you really embarrassed me
on
the internet, and I'm not doing it again.
Right.
Curse with features. I've got one for challengers.
Okay, go ahead.
I've got challengers and It Follows, which have 2 very steamy car sex scenes.
Ooh, so does Titanic.
Ooh, oh my god! There you go, triple bill.
Right, I've got a triple bill. Speaking of, I've got challengers, Wimbledon, and Battle of the Sexes, because MJ leaves Spider-Man to play tennis. Oh, well then Gwen Stacy in one of them.
Have you got any for Wimbledon?
I sure do. I've got Wimbledon and Game of Thrones, because Nikolai Coster-Waldau stars in something about a pasty blonde couple who, like, they're in love, but I'm not really rooting for them.
Good, I like that one.
Oh,
whole of Game of Thrones, that is. That's challengers and every series of Game of Thrones.
73 episodes. And I've got... I didn't do this one properly. I just wrote notes, but I didn't come up with a good sentence. I just wrote Wimbledon and Iron Man, Jon Favreau and Paul Bettany's disembodied voice. You know, because he does his voiceovers.
That's
But
a
I
make
didn't
your
come
own
up
double
with a joke.
feature there.
I just noted that.
I got Wimbledon and watching it while eating a tub of vanilla ice cream, a packet of ready salty crisps, and a banana sandwich, because you can't get any more beige of an evening than that.
Any more Caucasian?
Thank you very much. Any more Caucasian, being surrounded by your white, straight male friends. Fun. And on that note, that's the episode for this week.
Like, tennis is like life. You can't win them all. Unless you're me. And I've never lost a tennis game in my entire life.
You haven't, actually. It's really embarrassing when we play, because you beat me 15-love every single time.
Yeah, that's all we can
You do.
hit.
You get a grand slam, you do a volley,
Yeah.
and you serve. And I'm like, man, I just can't keep up with this fool.
No, I don't even need to move. I just stand where I'm standing. I've got a very long reach.
You got such long arms.
Right, I'm going to go to the cinema now and watch Mad Max Fury Road. Because
Exciting.
next week Furiosa?
No, Furiosa comes out in like 3 weeks.
Okay, so it's not
next week is Fall Guy.
Fall Guy. Oh, that looks not very good, I don't think. Okay, well, never mind.
Fall Guy and something. We're not entirely sure.
Look.
And if you want, tell us below. What should we pair with Fall Guy?
I don't know.
No, that wasn't to you. That was to the audience.
Okay, right. Thank you for this. You were a great opponent.
Thank you.
Even though we were on exactly
Yeah.
the same page on both films.
I could have been a contender, but ever since I had that injury on my leg, I just haven't been the same.
And I just can't be bothered to play tennis because it's boring. Right. Bye.
Oh, I see you on the next one.